He's barbaric. I mean, who gets to do that to someone? You know it. She was just manipulated and used. And he wants to say that he protected her? No, he caged her. He caged her.
We need to talk about the New York Post's investigation into Britney's family. Their team revealed the dark and horrific truth about Britney's grandma. It was uncovered that Britney's grandfather also used to drug her grandmother with lithium, just like Jamie Spears did to Britney when she didn't follow his rules. So let's get into it. Before we get into this video, I want to give you guys a trigger warning because we're going to be talking about some pretty sensitive topics today. There is a lot of darkness that surrounds the Spears family, especially on Jamie Spears' side. So let's jump into this article. This was published by the New York Post and it's titled, Britney Spears' family has a long, dark history of locking women up, which is pretty much an understatement. The reporters started off their investigation by visiting a local Britney-themed museum in Kentwood, Louisiana. This Britney museum was once a funeral home, but now it houses a bunch of Britney collectibles, including items from her tours and her shows, and pretty much the woman who put this all together is named Faye. She's from Louisiana and she lives in the town that Britney grew up in. Faye actually used to make hair bows for Britney back in the day and she would go and perform in those bows. So Faye knows the Spears family and Britney quite well, and she starts talking to the reporter about Britney's grandmother, Emma Jean. Faye points out the facial resemblance between Britney's grandmother and Britney. She also shares the tragic story about how Emma Jean took her own life at the age of 31. At one point, Emma Jean gave birth to a baby boy who did not make it. He passed away, and in May 1966, she decided to go to his grave and shoot herself. It's devastating to think about a 31-year-old woman who would go and take her life over her baby boy's grave. Like, that sounds like a horror film. And Emma Jean Spears' death was a big deal. Faye said that that death had a big impact on the family, and that it especially took a big toll on Britney's father, Jamie Spears. The reporter asked Faye a little bit about her thoughts about Britney's current conservatorship and what's going on there. And like many people in that small town, she is shocked. She can't believe what Britney has gone through. And a lot of these people know Britney Spears as a little girl. They haven't seen her in the past decade or two. Even though this small town in Louisiana is proud to be the home of Britney Spears, they do not like tourists, especially those coming to ask about Britney Spears. In reference to the Spears family, this article writes, but locals hate talking about it, especially to outsiders. Over the past 20 years, visitors have reported being threatened with guns or by the local sheriff. The author of a 2009 biography of Britney told the Post that he had been warned not to go into the local bar, or he would find himself eating gravel. This Post reporter who did this story for Britney's family also went to go visit this bar, and the manager actually came out to the reporter and their team and told them to leave as soon as they pulled into the driveway, which is crazy to think about. Could you imagine working on this story and hearing people tell you, yeah, don't visit the town, they don't like tourists, but you're like, okay, I mean, that doesn't seem right, and then you actually go and visit the town and you see they really don't like tourists, and you pull up to this local bar and they tell you to get out. I feel like that doesn't even sound legal to me, but I wouldn't even want to mess with it, especially knowing that the sheriff is on everybody else's side. The reporter did end up asking Faye about Jamie Spears because he's the main criminal in this whole conservatorship mess, and she was quoted saying, "I know what they're saying about Jamie, but he's not a bad man. Lynn is a good person too. They aren't monsters. This is a small town. We're good, honest country people," which, okay, good, honest country people, I get the mentality, but also there are bad people out in the country. So not everyone out in the country are good and honest. They got swallowed up by the Hollywood machine, by people who aren't like us. None of them were equipped to deal with it. Not Jamie, Lynn, or Britney. So it looks like this person, Faye, is trying to blame everything on Hollywood rather than Jamie Spears, who really is at the center of this all.
Jamie said that he essentially saved Britney when she was in desperate need of help.
I don't think he was the hero. I think that he manipulated the situation and that he has benefited from the situation for, like I said, over a decade.
Even though there are a lot of people who are defending Jamie, we know he's not a good guy because Britney's lawyer, Matthew Rosengart, just removed Jamie as Britney's conservator, which is something that we've been fighting for so long. So even though a bunch of these honest country people think that Jamie's one of them, we've seen through this and we know that the courtroom knows this as well. As you guys know, Britney grew up in Kentwood, Louisiana, and her childhood neighbors actually claim that she was sweet and energetic when she was younger. They also are quick to defend Jamie, which is a theme throughout this investigation. It seems like everyone's on Jamie Spears' side. I do want to quickly mention that Jamie Spears did in fact sell Britney's childhood home. He sold it earlier this year in February for $275,000. It's a little bizarre to me that he decided to go and sell the home this year. That doesn't really add up. I don't know why he would go and do that. It seems like a weird time since there's been this whole conservatorship battle. So what is his motive by selling Britney's childhood home? Maybe he needs some cash to pay his legal fees, but as you guys know, he's been using Britney's estate to pay for all the legal bills, so it doesn't really add up unless he's trying to just build up his bank account now that he's leaving the conservatorship role. I mean, he was making about $16,000 a month being Britney's conservator, so that's a pretty good income. But let's get back to Kentwood, Louisiana, because like I said earlier, everyone in town is here to defend Jamie Spears. This reporter spoke to several women that remember Jamie Spears back in the day when he was in high school, and they describe him as a hot basketball and football star. This person said that every woman wanted Jamie. This woman did not give her name, which a lot of people did not give their name to this reporter because they did not want to be tied in with this, which I totally understand. But this woman claims that he could have really gone places that Jamie could because he was so handsome and talented. She was quoted saying, "That man worked so hard for years. He had a business building metal sheds out in the hot sun, and he did that for years. He's not some bloodsucker. I think Britney is spoiled if you ask me." So wow, it looks like everyone is a Jamie Spears stan in this town.
How does Britney feel about all of this? What does she want?
She wants out. She wants away from Jamie. She wants to be free. She wants to get married. She wants to have kids.
But as you guys have seen these last few months, the Spears family is crumbling, and they are turning on each other. Britney has an uncle named John Mark Spears. He is Jamie's half-brother, and he has a lot to say about Jamie and their parents because he's exposing the darkness in the Spears family. Britney's uncle, John Mark, claims that her grandfather, his father, was a terrible man, and he would get physical with most of the 10 children that he had with his 3 wives. So this guy, June Austen Spears, definitely got around. Could you guys even imagine having 9 brothers and sisters? Like, I can't believe it. But unfortunately, not all of them are around nowadays because some have passed away. But Uncle John Mark is here to tell the truth. He told the reporter that these Spears men are something awful. They've gone away with so much, especially to their women, for years. And he said that the family's toxicity can be traced to his and Jamie's dad, June Austen. John Mark said that he, June Austen, was a monster, but nobody would say a bad word about him outside the family. Just like no one will say a bad word about Jamie around here, which is something the reporter saw. Nobody wanted to say anything bad about Jamie Spears. Uncle John Mark really opened up in this interview, and he shared how Britney's grandfather, so his father, June Austen, would beat his children and caused both of his first two wives to go off the rails. Uncle John Mark also claims that his father, June Austen, shipped both of these women to Mandeville, which was the state's former notorious mental hospital, and he would send them to this place from time to time. So actually, Uncle John Mark wasn't surprised to hear what Jamie's done to Britney, because that's pretty much what his father did to all of his wives. When they started acting up or doing something that he didn't like, he shipped them off to a mental hospital to be drugged up. As I mentioned earlier, Jamie Spears has a lot of siblings. It's not just Uncle John Mark. He also has a half-sister named Leanne.
Speaking for the first time against her brother Jamie Spears, Britney's aunt Leanne, seen here, has broken her silence over the controversial conservatorship that has controlled her niece's life for the last 13 years.
So Jamie's half-sister Leanne is also Britney's aunt, and she left her childhood home at the age of 16 because her father, June Austen, SA'd her multiple times from the age of 11. One day, June Austen actually R-worded her and violated his daughter, and from that day on, she had to get out, and she actually got help from a friend to escape her home. Leanne claims that she only ever went back a few times to visit, but she's been dealing with this her whole life. She claims that her father, June Austen, used to line up the kids and whip them. We would go to church where their father, June Austen, was the deacon, and on the way home, he would make me beat him off. She says that she hopes that he's burning in hell. That is so disgusting to think about. I mean, it reminds me how messed up the church system is, because I am a Christian myself, but I recognize that the churches are so messed up. At least some of them are. I mean, keep in mind that this man worked in the church. He was harming his kids daily, and he was also getting physical with his daughters on his way from home, making his young daughter, I'm assuming under the age of 16, beat him off, which sounds just like, again, like a horror movie, a nightmare, something that should have never happened. Leanne has actually recently started a blog about her childhood to help her cope with everything she's gone through. I'm glad that she's comfortable talking about this stuff because it needs to get out there. And she also talks about how her father, June Austen, so Britney's grandfather, would institutionalize her mother, just like what Britney's uncle John Mark said. But Leanne claims that when her mother was institutionalized, that she was placed on lithium. And when she heard that Britney was also put on lithium, she almost couldn't believe it, but it made sense because this was typical for this family and how they treat their women. In my opinion, it kind of looks like Leanne and Uncle John Mark both saw what was going on in their home with their father, June Austen, and they didn't want anything to do with it. Once they left that home, they made sure to not repeat any of those behaviors in their own home because they didn't want to continue the toxic cycle. But when it comes to Britney's father, Jamie Spears, it doesn't look like he saw the wrong that his two siblings saw, because it looks like he learned from his father and is doing the same things that his father did to his wives, to his daughter, Britney Spears. And when it comes to Britney's grandmother, Emma Jean, Uncle John Mark and Leanne do not believe that she took her own life, but rather her life was taken from her. And actually, when Emma Jean did die, her death got a lot of attention. It was on the front page of the newspaper, and everyone in town was talking about it. That newspaper article that covered Emma Jean's death wrote that the shotgun had been pressed against the woman's chest, and she apparently pulled the trigger with a toe of the right foot from which a shoe had been removed. The account also said that Emma Jean splayed out her left leg across the grave before checking that the 12-bore shotgun was ready and loaded with a single shell. There's something definitely off with that newspaper article, because if that was a situation where, you know, she took her own life, they have a lot of detail on how she did it. And it kind of reminds me of Kurt Cobain, because he supposedly had the shotgun and pulled it with his toe or something like that. And it seems pretty impossible to do, so I can't imagine this woman, Emma Jean, doing it so successfully. But John Mark and Leanne question how anyone really knows how it happened. The local newspaper reported that Emma Jean's husband, June Austin, told the coroner that his wife had tried to take her own life several times before, and that she was still depressed over the death of her son, who died when he was only 3 days old. I have no doubt that Emma Jean was probably depressed after her son died. But I also think about her other children, and I feel like she wasn't prepared to go and leave them all behind. But Leanne says no one knows what happened because no one was there. But you can bet that June Austin pulled the trigger one way or the other, even if he wasn't there. So pretty much, Leanne is attributing Emma Jean's death to June Austin, whether he pulled the trigger or not, because she felt like he drove her crazy. Like I mentioned earlier, Leanne has a blog and she's been writing about her childhood on that blog. It's helping her cope with everything she's gone through and just kind of, like bring some closure to the situation because she's never really been able to talk about it. And Leanne decided to call some of her family members and tell them that she was R-worded and violated by her own father. She wanted the rest of the family to know what she went through. It doesn't sound like her family really believed her because she told this reporter, "You know who believed me? Only Lynn Spears." So she says she's got nothing bad to say about Lynn.
Is there anything at all that you could have done to have helped Britney at all?
I don't know what anyone could have done. I do know this. I know if Lynn could have done anything, she would have.
Leanne does say that the Spears men need to be held accountable. Thank goodness Britney got a good lawyer. Jamie did to her what my daddy did to my mom and Emma Jean. They are mean, and they will destroy you if they can't control you. But I think Britney will survive. She's a beautiful person with a beautiful soul.
I mean, he swooped in at the perfect moment when she was at her most vulnerable to take control. I don't know if they could be prosecuted for anything, but he needs to be held accountable.
While this reporter was out in Louisiana, she wanted to talk to everyone, including Britney's father, Jamie Spears. So it looks like Jamie Spears wasn't responding to their voice and text messages, so this reporter went out to a gate leading to a small concrete storage unit where Jamie Spears has been staying. He's been living in an RV behind the unit off and on for about 2 years. Some locals say that Jamie Spears stays in this RV because he wants to show that he's not living a large life on Britney's money. I still can't get over the fact that Jamie Spears is living in an RV. Like, is he trying to make us feel bad for him or something? I don't really know, but we do know he's got money because he's been taking it for over a decade. So I really don't like this, like, play pretend, oh, pity me, I'm living in this RV outside of a storage unit with all Britney's stuff in there. Like, please, sir. Please. After this reporter called Jamie to see if he wanted to come out and give his side of the story at this little storage unit RV situation, a man wearing a baseball cap and driving a golf cart accompanied by a furiously barking dog pulled out from behind the storage unit and drove to the gate. This man identified himself as the head of security, but looked very much like Jamie Spears, who has lost a lot of weight recently. Actually, Uncle John Mark ran into Jamie Spears in town recently, and he didn't even recognize him because of how thin Jamie Spears is. If you guys have any comments about Jamie Spears' weight loss, comment below because I don't really know what to make of it. Like, it actually makes me feel kind of bad for him because he looks so bad and unwell that I don't know, like, is he okay? Like, does he need to go see a doctor? But anyways, this reporter was out there trying to talk to Jamie Spears, and this man pulls over in this golf cart with this dog, and he says, "I called the law and they're coming. You've got one warning. Where is your vehicle? Go get in your vehicle and get out of here. Bye. Go now. Bye." Uncle John Mark said, "That sounds like Jamie. He doesn't care about what the outside world thinks. He doesn't care about his reputation. He's a stubborn son of a B word, and I'll probably get a visit from him after this story." Honestly, I would be nervous if I was Uncle John Mark because I would not want to see an angry Jamie Spears. If Jamie is even 10% of what his father was, he is capable of doing a lot of damage, and I am so proud of the Free Britney movement for getting him out of Britney's conservatorship because she was not safe under his control. But I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below, so comment below. Here's my email if you have any other video ideas for me. But let's go ahead and open this PO Box package item. It looks like it's from a shop called Savy Star Shop. So let's go ahead and check this out. Oh, it's so cute. And it's got like some lips on it, so I don't really know what to make of that. Like, is it some lip stuff? Let's go ahead and see. I've got my little opener right here. And if you guys ever want to send me any PO Box package items, no pressure at all, but my address is listed below. And actually it's gonna be changing like, oh my gosh, in like 20 days. So I need to figure that out. Let's go ahead and see. Oh, wow. There's a few things in here. So let's go ahead and read the letter. It looks like it's some jewelry, which I'm really excited about. And here's their letter. Dear Sloan, my name is Savannah, and I just recently started my own crystal business on Etsy. I carry a variety of unique crystals and gemstone jewelry. We specialize in crystal sets and angel aura treated crystals. Aw. I really love watching your videos, and I admire your strength and courage to talk about such serious problems we face in our world today. I love seeing you voice your opinions and how you really dig deep for answers. I look forward to all your future videos. Oh, thank you, Savannah. In this package is a tiger's eye, a black onyx, and a hematite bracelet for your protection and strength. Aw, that's awesome. I'm so excited for this. And it looks like she has a bunch of like just different things going on at her Etsy shop, so definitely go and check it out. It also looks like she threw in a rose quartz for me, the Stone of Love, which I'm so excited for. Thank you so much, Savannah. And she's got an Instagram, Savy Star Shop, and everything will be listed below. Go and support a fellow subscriber to the channel. I really appreciate it. So let's go ahead and see what this is right here. This star, look, you can kind of see there's like a star. I don't know if you can see it. I can see it because the light's shining through it, but let's see what this is because this looks so cool. Oh my gosh, wait, this is a crystal? Look at that. It's like a crystal that's been like made into a star. In the middle, there's like literal like shining crystals. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. Can you put on a necklace? Like what? This is so cool, Savannah. I have nothing like this. This is great. Thank you. I really love it. Let's go ahead and check out this bracelet as well, which I love a good bracelet like these. I'm going to put it on right now. Look at it. I like how it's darker because a lot of mine are a lot lighter. So this is kind of like a night crystal bracelet. This is so cool. Thank you so much. And this, I still can't get over the star. But finally, let's go ahead and open this one right here. I don't know what's going on. Oh, wow. So there's a few different options in here. Look at that. I know she listed a few and I can never pronounce crystals. So this one right here is like this gold kind of like metal looking crystal. I've seen one of these before. I actually had one when I was like a little kid and I thought it was real gold and I thought it was like super rich or something because of it. And then here's, I think this is fluorite. I do know this one. This one's fluorite, which this is so cool. Someone told me not to lick my crystals because there are certain like metals inside of it. So we're trying to avoid that. And then it looks like right here we've got, ooh, like a black, what's it called? Black tourmaline. I don't know. I never know how to say it again. But this one I love. It's like just so black, but it's also so black that it kind of looks white because it reflects that color. See that? And then finally, I think this is the Stone of Love, the rose quartz, which it's so pretty. You can't really see how pink it is on camera. Wait, you really can't see. It like truly looks like, it looks pink, but wow, you can't see the pink. But anyways, it is there. Thank you so much, Savannah. I love these crystals. I can't wait to put them in my collection. And I will see you guys in a new video soon. Bye, guys.